Hey everybody, Senator Tim Kaine here. Thanks for inviting me to speak today. Nuestra comunidad hispana plays a critical role in strengthening Virginia's economy and will be absolutely vital to the Commonwealth's recovery from COVID-19. Of course, our Hispanic community has been disproportionately impacted by COVID-19, accounting for about 45% of COVID-19 cases in Virginia, despite Latinos making up only about 10% of our population. Sectors with disproportionate shares of Hispanic-owned businesses are among those hardest hit by the pandemic. We also know that pre-existing gaps in income, wealth, access to financial services, access to health care and child care, and other disparities have contributed to minorities and minority-owned businesses suffering from the pandemic to a significantly greater degree than their white counterparts. So I've been working to more meaningfully address these disparities in Congress. Last year, we saw that minority-owned small businesses and communities of color had unequal access to the first round of PPP loans, partially because of disparities in pre-existing relationships with financial institutions and access to the other entities and agencies that help businesses become aware of and apply for relief. So when we went back to add more funding to PPP last April, Democrats ensured that banks better poised to serve underserved businesses had equal access to funding. We also provided historic amounts of funding for community development financial institutions and minority depository institutions in the COVID relief bill we passed in December. The American Rescue Plan that President Biden signed into law earlier this month is a bold continuation of relief efforts that will change the lives of millions of Virginia families, workers, and small businesses. It provides millions of Virginians, 84% of our population, with stimulus checks and unemployment benefits through the summer. Because of this bill, just in Virginia, 85,000 children will be lifted out of poverty because of the enhanced earned income and child tax credits. Expanding these tax credits will also have a close effect on closing racial disparities in poverty rates, and we'll need to work to make those reforms permanent. In addition to providing additional funding to expand access to PPP, the bill creates a $25 billion restaurant revitalization fund to provide grants for restaurants and food service companies. It adds $15 billion for the EIDL Advanced Loan Program through the SBA to provide grant funding to our hardest hit small businesses. And it creates a new Community Navigator program to enhance outreach to underserved communities nationwide. Finally, the American Rescue Plan includes vital investments to help distribute vaccines, funding for child care to provide struggling families with child care services, and funding to help our schools and universities safely reopen. Okay, but there's more to do, and now we have to work to ensure that the provisions in the bill are implemented swiftly and fairly so that all communities, but especially our Hispanic community and others that have been hit so hard by pandemic, are able to survive this pandemic, climb out of the economic catastrophe we've been in, and thrive in an economic recovery that leads us to a more robust and equitable and sustainable economy. Once we get through the pandemic, we've got to get the economy back on track, but also address pre-existing problems that prevented the economy from working for everybody. So we'll be focused on job creation, including investing in infrastructure, housing, clean energy. And as part of this, we need to be thinking through ways to expand economic opportunities for all Americans, especially our communities such as the Latino community, which has been such a source of strength for Virginia. I always point out that when I was born in 1958, 1 out of every 100 Virginians was born in another country, and we were poor. Our state was bottom quarter of per capita income in the United States. Today, we're 1 out of 9 Virginians are born in another country with a sizable and growing Latino population. And guess what? Now we're top 15 per capita income. As we have become more diverse, as the percentage of new Americans has grown, as our Hispanic community has grown, Virginia has gone from back of the pack to front of the pack economically. You cannot tell me that our Hispanic community or our new Americans more generally have not been anything but a great benefit to Virginia. You are a source of richness and strength to our Commonwealth and our country, and I want to thank you. And I especially want to thank the Cámara de Comercio Hispana for all the work you're doing, and I look forward to working with you more in the future.